So we're here today to talk to you about a sale property we just sold, as we call it, an exit from one of our investments. This property we've taken you guys through a few times. I think before we started construction, during construction one or two times, and then right before lease up.
Exactly.
Right? So you guys saw the process from beginning to end, and this is the end. We're going to tell you all about the sale.
Exactly. So we're going to go over, why we bought the property, the process of rehabbing the property, leasing it up, and then the sale and why we sold. So we bought it for 1.8. This was in December 2020. So height of the pandemic, people were not even leaving their homes, and here we are buying deals. And the reason why we bought it is because it was already vacant, and we saw an opportunity to where we thought the rents could be, where we saw the market recovering to. I think we were very conservative, and that's something that we'll talk about with our rents, with our exit projections. And it took us about 17 months, a little bit longer than we wanted. It's been tough. It's been tough to do construction right now, just dealing with the city, trying to pull permits, inspections, supplies, all these things. And this is in the coastal zone, which it's like, there's HPOZ, which is historic parts of LA, and then there's coastal, which is west of Lincoln, which is a whole nother thing. And so we sold it, we closed this week.
Yeah, last week.
Monday.
Or no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We're supposed to close
For me,
last
it was
week.
last week. For you, it was this week. Yeah, no, we closed on Monday.
And so we sold it for 315, and the crazy thing is that we projected a 275 exit. When we went to our investors, we said, hey, we're going to sell this thing for 275, and here we are, 400 grand higher than our projection. So this is the exterior. This is what it looks like today. This is what it looked like. I don't know about you. I'm kind of a fan of like this tiki fence.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I actually took it to my apartment.
That's where it went.
Yeah.
But you can see we have like this peach colored rough stucco. We smoothed out the stucco. We had this like old wood siding that when you took it off, it just crumbled. So really did a lot of work to the exterior for curb appeal. You can, we'll go back to the pictures of the exterior, but we redid the gates, redid everything. I mean, this was a huge construction job. And that's one of the things when we went to get the loan, the lender was like, you're going to spend this much money on 3 units? And we said, yes.
But we ended up spending about $450 or so.
Yeah.
And on 3 units at $150,000 a unit, it's a lot. We spent $150,000 a unit, but we reconfigured the units by adding additional bedrooms and bathrooms. We did, like you said, a new roof, plumbing, electrical, and it was a full gut job. So this was not like lipstick on a pig. We really turned this basically to like a new construction, which actually new construction from what I hear is actually a little bit simpler, I don't know about easier, but simpler on the construction side because you're just building fresh and new. When you're renovating an existing product that's 40, 50 years old, you're dealing with all sorts of prior electrical systems, existing walls, so there's a lot to replace, maneuver, move around. It's a little more complex. But if we can do that, then we can do anything.
Exactly. So here were the interiors, nice colored cabinets. It wasn't like, this wasn't a property that we walked into and we were like, wow, this is disgusting, right? It wasn't that type of property, right? It was habited before.
Yep.
There were tenants that were occupying these units for a long time. So, but they were definitely super dated and needed a lot of work. And a lot of it was the systems. I think a lot of our cost was plumbing, electrical, roof, the framing, building out the new bathrooms, moving walls. And then obviously, we did super high-end finishes. We got, Spanish tile. It took 4 or 5 months just to get the tile on site. We did Bosch appliances, which we'll see that, the washer dryer, we ended up not even using the Bosch washer and dryers because they couldn't even get here in time. So, it was definitely a cool project for us. I love the way it turned out. This is, these are old photos. You can see it's not terrible. I mean, look, we changed out all the windows, and we'll talk about that as one of the hurdles, but.
Well, the other thing downstairs, it was, the way it was configured downstairs was illegal because they had 2 units there when in actuality it's only legal as 1 unit.
Exactly.
So there's 2 1-bedrooms, and originally it was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. that the previous owner had illegally divided into 2 units that were 1 bedroom each, and then we reverted it back to 1 unit legally and turned to 3 bedroom, 3 bath plus a garage.
Exactly. So this was the illegal unit. This was the kitchen in the illegal unit that became a bedroom. This was the access to the garage, and we closed that off. And then this was a bathroom that we kept en suite for this bedroom. So there was like a lot of work that had to be done to get rid of this kitchen,
Yeah.
frame it in, and close off the garage. So this was during construction. Just some cool photos. So you can see, smoothing out the stucco here. This was the process. This is what it looked like before. I mean, the exterior, these were up for like 2-3 weeks just to do all the stucco
And
work.
this security system cost us like 15 grand to have up,
Total, yeah.
something like that, over the duration of the project, because we had a lot of break-ins. As Venice Beach, very high demand area, but it's also being close to Lincoln Boulevard. There's just a lot of transients. Is that what is the correct term? Transients, people.
There's definitely people coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
A lot of homeless too in the area.
And also just like neighbors that are looky-loos that are just willing to jump a fence just to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And so and with these cameras, they actually send us a text message to see who's coming in. You see all sorts of people coming in and out of the property, but then a loud voice comes on and says, "This is God, you must leave," something like that, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think we probably had 10 or 15 reports in 6 months of the construction that I remember of hey, there's people on the property.
Yeah.
But that was after the fact of why we even put on. The reason why we got the security systems is a neighbor called and said, "Hey, I think there's people smoking crack in the parking lot." And so that's the reason why we went with the security. But it helped a lot too, just having guys on site every day.
For sure.
Because when there's guys showing up and there's activity on the property and people see, workers there or tenants there even, it definitely deters people going on the property illegally trespassing. So here's more. This was during demo. Got some nice furniture in there.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the upstairs 2-bed. So this was actually operating as a 2-bed. This was a bedroom and there was a bedroom over here. And what we did is we took the bedroom to the right, added it to a different unit, so basically converted it to a 1-bed. And then where we're looking was a living room, and we actually put a wall up here to make it a 2-bed and then built out a kitchen. So I know it's like a little confusing, but we basically took a 2-bed down to a 1-bed to then reconvert it to a 2-bed. Which allowed us to convert the next door unit
into a 3-bed.
Into the 3-bed. So this is, you guys saw this picture. I think it's one of the best looking buildings on the block.
For sure.
Even the gates. The gates took us so long to find the right iron worker, the cost, the finish, but it makes such a difference.
Yeah, I miss it.
Already?
Yeah. Only been a few days.
We can buy it back.
Yeah, we could. For the right price.
Yeah. So now this is what it looks like. So we put in these recessed lights. This kitchen had some upper cabinets that we tore down to give that open concept. We'll get a closer picture of the kitchen. So you can see like really nice fridge, stove, even the backsplash. I think the backsplash was probably my favorite part. And we're putting it in flour where we walked 2 weeks ago. The backsplash is now, and it's the same really cool sand, kind of beach wavy kitchen backsplash.
That's upstairs, right? 2-bed?
This is the 2-bed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the great room where you have your kitchen, living room. This unit, we actually had a ton of inquiries, a lot of interest in this unit, but it took the longest to lease, and the reason is because of this great room, which has the living room, kitchen, dining area. It's kind of like an all-in-one. It's pretty small, about 600 square foot, 2-bed, 2-bath. And I think in retrospect, we made the bedrooms a little bit too large.
The bathroom.
The bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even that back bedroom, if we could have made it a little bit smaller and extended the great room, that probably would have helped. But look, at the end of the day, we ended up leasing it. She's super happy in there, the tenant.
Yeah.
And we got good rents all around on this property. Like you said, higher than we estimated when we bought the place.
Exactly. So again, Spanish tile in the showers. It's just like, it makes such a difference. And this is one of our key takeaways is when you can allocate your construction dollars and even spend maybe a little bit more than you were hoping to, it really pays off. Because look, when you're in Venice, when you're in Santa Monica, probably when you're in Silver Lake and Los Feliz, like, these tenants really appreciate it. They're saying, hey, the barrier of entry housing is so high already to these markets, and I want to live in this market. And if I'm going to pay, $4,000 or $2,000, like, what's the extra $100? I'd rather spend the extra $100 to get that nicer place, and that's what we felt like we did here. This is like the really cool mosaic tile, really cool pattern. We also did that at Flower. Like a bedroom office. This is the front. This was previously the living room of that 2-bed that we showed you. So we put up this wall here, put an ensuite bath to make it a 2-bed, 2-bath. Washer dryers. So that's the construction process.
We held it for just under 18 months,
Yeah.
17 or so,
18.
17 months. And I think we want to talk about why we sold the property.
Sure.
So we sold the property. It's like I'm saying, hey, I missed the thing, so why did we sell it? And for us, it was really numbers driven, right? We weren't going to sell it at a lower price. We weren't forced to sell it, so we had the luxury of having rents coming in, collecting monthly revenue on the property. So we weren't pressured to sell the property, but we put it on the market. We said, hey, if we get a price that's acceptable to us, then we'll sell it. We ended up getting a price where we're able to give our investors around 20% annualized returns and get them their money back, plus the return on their investment, and redeploy it. So we sold this for $315. We could probably take the investor money and buy something between $4.5 to $5 million with the cash that we have on hand. So of course we're looking for more projects. We love to buy something like this, but on a larger scale. So instead of 3 units, 20 units, and do it all over again, just in a larger asset.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very happy with the way the project turned out. I'm really happy that we're able to perform for our investors. I think that's really the nature of our business, and I've probably said this tens of times on our Instagram lives, is like, that's what I care most about. Like, I care most about making LA nicer, doing these types of projects, because there's a lot of properties that have a lot of issues. I mean, we're encountering that now on some properties that we're looking at, and these things need to be taken care of. And I think there's also a demographic of people that want this nicer housing, that are saying, hey, the cost of rent is the cost of rent, and if I'm going to pay the money, I might as well live the way I want to live. So I'm really happy that we're able to perform for our investors. That's the key. I want to be doing more of these projects, and like you said, on a larger scale. For
sure. So maybe we can talk a little bit about why the buyers bought the asset, what attracted them, and why they would pay such a high number. I mean, they paid $1,050,000 per unit. They paid $1,124 a square foot, which for single family in Venice is in line, but for multifamily is very high. I think we can talk about why they bought it, and one reason is they were in a 1031 exchange. They wanted something that was turnkey and something where they can also put their own personal touch, personal stamp on the property.
Yeah, and I think, look, the price per foot, the price per doors is definitely really high, but we did have the income to justify. I think that's like the one kicker is, okay, it was a 16 times gross. So if the rents, if you divide the sale price by 16, that's how much annual income we were generating on the property. But then there was still upside to build an ADU. We had plans in process to convert one of the garages into an ADU, and the new owner wants to look into making that into a unit. I think have a family member, maybe a son, live in there, and that was like a big selling point to them, is to be able to own or occupy the property. But yeah, it was crazy metrics. I remember when we were buying it, there was a house that sold across the street that we looked at the comp. Well, it was like over 1,000 a foot.
It's $1,400 a foot.
1,400 a foot
On the corner,
but yeah, we learned so much. We learned about the permit process, construction, supply chain, the inspections. There was the biggest thing that delayed this project, the windows. It was crazy. The city said that our window height was 3 inches off, but we had to do structural calcs and reframe the windows. It took us an extra 3 months just to raise, I think it was like 5 windows, 3 inches.
Yeah. And then we also had some hurdles with the financing on the front end because it was in the midst of COVID. A lot of banks, especially with these kind of riskier deals, were doing a lot of construction, spending $150,000 a unit. The banks were looking at it going, I don't know. So we obviously found a bank to do the loan, to do the construction loan, but that was another hurdle on the front end with the financing and dealing with coastal, like you mentioned, break-ins, security issues. So yeah, you see the before, you see the after picture, but there was a lot that went on in the middle, and did a great job. We are obviously, we sold, we have the money with an accommodator. We're looking for 1031 exchange up legs. So if anyone has a property that we should be looking at, please let us know. If anyone's looking to invest with us, please feel free to reach out at Hualiahu at the Goldfinger Group, Maxx at thegolfingergroup.com. And we look forward to hearing from you guys soon.